Hey guys, how you guys doing today? It's Joey again, Vegas D-Tech. It's the 6th. We're back in the lounge with another Tech Talk, and this is Tech Talk 23. We're back at it again, answering comments, concerns, and let's go ahead and get started. Number one we're going to discuss today, guys, is plug cutting. Plug cutting. I'm getting a lot of guys out there telling me that they're, here, just let me read it out to you. This one individual says that more and more people are telling, actually no, more and more people are telling me that detecting is no longer allowed in their cities and counties. Okay, one subscriber told me that they're seeing damage from crappy plug cutting by other metal detectors, and it's making it to the point that they're starting to get the groundskeepers hanging up signs saying that they do not want to see metal detecting in their parks. Another individual down in Arkansas says that he's limited to detecting like streams and rivers that nobody cares about because in his public parks it's not allowed. The police will chase you out. Are you guys seeing more of this going on in your local parks, guys? Because I mean, I'm fortunate right now in Vegas that this is not a very big hobby here. I mean, people would rather go to the strip and get drunk and do other things down there than the metal detect. So it leaves things wide open for me. But nevertheless, I've got to lead an example for anybody else that's interested in doing this, and I got to, show them how it's done correctly. And if you guys could be the pioneers for beginners to show them how to dig plugs correctly, we're not going to have this problem. Because look, guys, it says, I wrote down here, that if you care about this hobby and your city not shutting the doors on your hobby, you need to use some common sense and discretion when you're at the parks. Some places are requiring permits, and if you're caught damaging property, they revoke your permit, report your permit number in, and you get a $250 fine sent to your house for damaging property. Okay. I used to watch, when I first started metal detecting, one of the inspirational channels that helped me get into it was a guy called Grommy Lamy. It was just so believable and smooth how he cut a plug. When he put his camera down and he cut a plug, it was just like 3 stabs, zick, 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 and then the thing would just pop out so perfect, and then he would be able to get in there and use his pointer and extract so clean, nobody would have a problem. But in Rockford, he had to have a permit that he hung around his neck. And then if anybody came by asking him any questions, he just showed them, I have a permit, and they left him alone. Now, I hope that it doesn't get to that point. But, the way I see it, man, is the more accurate detectors are, and I've been through this debate with you guys. Some of you guys say, I don't want it that easy, because if it gets too easy, then you take the thrill out of the hunt. And then other people say if it gets too easy and if the detectors are actually more accurate at telling you what's in the ground, then many more people will want to go out there and buy these detectors and just solely looking for gold, okay? And I do understand that point. I do understand what you're saying. But you know what? Right now, if these detectors don't get better, if everybody goes to a park and digs 100 holes, if I go to a park right now and I'm digging 100 holes in a park, and then at 3 o'clock, another guy comes up behind me and he's digging 100 holes. That's 200 divots that were cut in that park that day. And that's just with 2 people. Why do you need to cut 100 holes? If these detectors were more accurate, and that's what we're supposedly buying, right? We don't need to buy the next detector that just looks newer. Okay? We need that detector to have some groundbreaking innovations in it that are going to help us be more accurate and have to cut less holes. Okay, I tell you this much. When I'm at a park, if somebody's watching me and they see me go to the ground and they come over to me, if I come up out of that hole with something significant, a silver coin, a ring, a piece of jewelry, something like that, and I show them that, they're naturally interested, and as long as my hole doesn't even look bad and I put it back down, they just dismiss everything and they're nice. Now, if they see me go to the ground and all I'm doing is picking up pieces of foil and can slaw, they're going to look at me as though my metal detecting is unnecessary and that I'm just digging up holes in their parks. It just sucks, man. I mean, if you guys watched my one back video I had called Plug Police, I was just at a private park. Now, you're going to get this more or less in community private parks where you need to have permission to be there or have somebody that lives in that community in order for you to utilize that park. Normally, public parks, you pay taxes, you have access to it. There's no signs that are posted saying that you can't do this. And I've written to my park commissioner and asked him, is metal detecting illegal? He wrote me back in an email saying, no, it's not. So as long as you leave the park in better condition than when you found it and that you're not damaging anything. And I printed that out and I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I keep it in my bag in case anybody needs to see that. I show them, look, this is the commissioner of parks saying that what I'm doing is not illegal. But even with that, you don't want to be a cocky guy that has an attitude. You want to actually show that you're actually taking trash out of your park. Now, here's another tip for you too. Those pouches that you have on your hip? I don't wear one. I don't like carrying those things all around me. I actually have a Husky bag that has a trash compartment in it and a fine compartment. I keep that trash compartment loaded with trash. Because if anybody comes up to me and they're asking me what I'm doing, I can show them all the trash that I'm extracting from the ground, taking away and taking out of the ground. And they look at me as kind of like a maintenance person that is maintaining their parks and keeping it beautiful. And I don't get anybody coming up telling me a lot of crazy things. And for the most part, you can talk your way out of it. But at least have some discretion, guys. Now, this is not going to pertain to guys that are, out there in fields and farms. Hell, if you guys want to go out there with a backhoe and dig a big trench looking for stuff, nobody's going to care, because nobody even knows that you're out there, and nobody will even stumble upon what you guys did. If you're in the woods, nobody cares. But if you're in a public park, man, you can't go out there with these foot spade shovels and just dig these holes, Now, I'm not a gardener, okay, like that, so I can't tell you. I don't like the idea where the guys are taking the big spade shovels and they're cutting like squares and pulling the whole square out and then digging their stuff and then putting it back in. It looks clean. It is a lot cleaner because everything comes out in one. But when I cut it like a toilet lid, and it's a flap. And the reason being why I like the flap method is because when I'm cutting, I'm cutting through a lot of the grass roots where they get their nutrition. Okay, they get all of their nutrients out of these grass roots, and I'm actually using a serrated blade to cut through it and lift it, and then I've cut their access to get nutrients, and it tends to leave a ring, like a horseshoe ring of deadness. But if you have that lid, then the nutrients is still attached to the top of the plug, and that those nutrients can still feed the grass and allow it to grow again. But if you cut a complete circle around and you lift it out, you've cut all access to anything around it that feeds them nutrients, and it's got to survive with what's on that plug, and it can tend to make that thing brown and die. That's just my 2 cents on it. You guys can do whatever you want, but use some common sense, guys, when you go to the park. Otherwise, you're going to see the park's groundskeepers go out there one day, and they're just going to put a new metal sign and rivet it on there. No metal detecting allowed. And then where are you and your machine is going to go at that point? Nowhere. All right, guys. So please, let's just try to do that. And like I said, with more accurate detectors, man, we would have to cut less unnecessary plugs. All right. I feel that we need a game-changing innovation. We've been saying this for the longest time. We don't just need newer machines that look better. All right? There needs to be some game-changing innovation to the hobby moving forward, or else we're just buying machines over and over and over. If you have 3 machines, the way I say it, I have like 3 or 4 machines, but each one of those machines should actually have a purpose where it's strong at. One machine might not be so hot in a park, but it's very strong in a beach. Another one you might use if you're going out with your friends way out and you're doing prospecting, because it just shoots way deep and you want to dig deep. And that machine there, the megahertz or the kilohertz on it, is at a wavelength that is actually hitting deep, so you can get relics that are deep in the ground. And another one might just be for coin shooting and a simple jewelry finding at a park. It doesn't need to go that deep. Okay? Me, I'm in Vegas. As you know, there's no oceans that surround Las Vegas, so a beach detector does me no good. Number 2, I don't do prospecting around here. I don't have any Civil War history that has happened around Las Vegas. So looking around for relics, I just don't do that. I am strictly a city park coin and treasure hunter. So my detectors do not need to go more than 8 inches. 8 inches is the maximum that I need and all of these detectors can well do that. Okay, and why so? Because the parks that I have in my neighborhoods here, these were deserts before they were ever parks. They were actually, a bulldozer came in and pulled away all the rocks and boulders that were in the park. They were scraped clean and smooth. About 5 inches of fill dirt were put in there to level the park and make it level, and then another 3-inch layer of sod was laid on top of that. So the very most that my detector needs to do is to get through the sod layer, which is 3 inches, and then to get anywhere inside that fill dirt layer, which is 5 inches. So 5 plus 3 is 8 inches. As long as my detector is very strong and able to detect within an 8-inch zone, my detectors are more than perfect for the way I detect. Each of you guys are going to have a different way, a different style, and a different need for what your detectors need to be able to do for you, the way that you detect in your park, in your field, in your beach, or whatever like that. But at least when you guys buy detectors, have a reason for why you've bought that detector. Don't just buy it because it's the latest thing. It needs to serve a unique purpose for you. Okay? To try to find one detector that can do all is like a unicorn. You can get close. You can get close. Equinox is pretty close, and hopefully this Legend is pretty close at being an all-around detector. But when people ask me at the park, hey, how many feet does it go? I'm like, feet? No, dude, inches, man, inches. This is not no archaeological dig. We don't go in feet. I don't know anything that can go in feet, and I wouldn't want to go in feet. I don't want to work that hard. Plus, I've only got a hand digger. I don't come out there with big old shovels trying to make big meteorite impact zones in the park. All right. So that being said, okay, getting back, man. God, I got to get back to this. The Apex. Some people were kind of shocked when I came out with the last Tech Talk talking about that the Apex's modes don't actually have any parameter differences. There's nothing wrong with in the mode settings. None of the parameters change. Basically, all it is a discrimination pattern. Okay, and they were like, "Well, that doesn't even make any sense." I'm like, "I know. It should have just been called User 1, User 2, User 3, and that each one of those users, you just set your discrimination for what it is you're looking for." But as far as actual parameters, there was no parameter changes in those modes. And I got a comment from a subscriber named Wade. Wade, thank you for your comment here. He says, in my opinion, the Apex was rushed out for the summer of 2021. He goes, I think that they only wanted to address the beach mode. Good point, because in my opinion, the Apex is only good for the beach. In an actual park, I don't want to say the name of any detector channels, you know what I'm saying, without their permission, but many of the detector channels that you guys are probably watching right here that use the Apex, they've mentioned that they struggle in the park with that detector for a myriad of reasons. My problem is my problem that I struggle with was the mineralization in the dirt made my Apex act kind of wonky, and I wasn't proficient with it, and other detectors are commonly saying the same thing. So the Apex, like I said, at the beach it's great, and also with its frequency shift options on there, it helps to really kill EMI. You could choose a different channel on that and completely knock your EMI out. Those are the strong points. Okay, so like he said, he goes, I think that they only wanted to address the beach mode just to save face with all their ex-AT Pro customers, which was me, he said. He said, I've owned all three of the ATs. AT Pro, AT Gold, AT Max. What do you guys get when you buy those, man? So you get a knocking at the door, UPS or FedEx drops you off the box, you open it up, it's got a new picture of it, some dude got his headphones on, gloves and a pointer, and you open it up and you pull your thing out and you're staring at it, you're like, dude, I've been staring at the same looking machine for 2 decades or more. Same machine, dude, same song and dance. They just got a different name on it now. You know what I mean? Apex was in a rush, man, to get something out there to satisfy these guys that are kind of getting tired of buying the same old AT. Look, the AT line is done. You know, if you guys are still buying the AT, man, what is going to be next, man? AT Multi, and it's going to come in the same box. Would you guys buy it again? If Garrett, if Garrett came out with the new AT Multi, and it had the same ugly face on it with that stupid LCD little teeny thing with all these little buttons, would you buy it again just because it said AT Multi-Free? I don't know. Share your thoughts, man. I will not be buying one of them. It says Garrett needs a better sand and water machine for under, say, $800 to $900, just to make their existing customer base happy and to even pick up more. All right, man. So, yeah, man, Garrett, I think you rushed out with the Apex, man. I really think that you probably can recover a little bit if you come up with some updates. All right. To update those modes and actually have it to where the parameters are changing in there, not just discrimination. I know you just wanted to get out there really fast because the Nox was the only machine that was offering SMF, you know, and Garrett just came out with this Apex, and that was their version of the SMF. But when you got the machine, you're just like, wow, man, this is a really introductory machine, you know, for the price and for what it can do. Some more work needs to be done there. All right, guys. Okay, going to the next thing here. My frequency video that I did in Tech Talk 22, I believe it was, where I showed the gentleman, the engineer guy. He put the Equinox onto the oscilloscope, and you guys got to see all the frequencies that were being transmitted. That was dope. Guys had a lot of questions about the 7.7 kilohertz being the dominant frequency. They're asking, what mode was that in? Was that mode in the field? Was it in the park? Was it in the beach? I have no clue. I haven't been able to get a hold of the gentleman that actually conducted that. I think it was a video from somebody who got it from an engineer, but I don't know. I can only assume that the majority of us, when we're using the Equinox, we're using it in Park 2. Park 2 seems to have the best sound. It seems to have the tone breaks seem to be about right. The recovery swing speeds, they all seem to be just about right. The algorithm they use in Park 2, from the most part, from everybody that I've talked to that use the Equinox, they like that Park 2. And even in the Simplex, they're liking the Park 2 as well. I don't know what's so special about Park 2, but Park 2 seems to be a very user-friendly and popular mode in order to search in. Okay, and the next thing here before we get up to 20 minutes, everybody's asking me, what do I recommend for their very first detector? Man, you guys might be able to help me with this. You guys might be able to chime in and share your thoughts. Very first detector for somebody who's trying to get into the hobby today. Okay, I don't really think that I'm going to be recommending bounty hunters and pioneers. Those guys had their days, and that's cool. But right now, with what's available right now, for a person who does not know anything about the hobby, and you know how it is, guys, when you first started, you had no clue how long you were going to stay in, if you were going to get disgusted because you dig 50 holes and you came up with 50 beer caps and pull tabs. So for an individual right now that wants to get in, what would you recommend for their very first metal detector? And I've only really got two. And basically I'm taking a look at as what it provides, the bang for your buck value, and the popularity of this model. And the number one, well actually let's start with number two. Coming in at number two, I feel that the Vanquish 440 is going to be a very good entry-level detector for the newbie. I found a deal right now on eBay where the 440 is coming in at $279, and it is including a Minelab Profine 15 pinpointer. Okay, so Vanquish 440, it is simultaneous multi-frequency detector, and you're going to get a pinpointer with it. It's to me, it doesn't have the unnecessary stuff that you get, headphones, extra coils and stuff like that with the 540 and the Pro Pack version, and it's not as limited as the 340. Okay, the 440 seems to be the middle ground. It's got the punch. It's got good segment discrimination spectrum, and I just feel that bang for your buck value. The 440 is a pretty solid contender when it comes to it, and at the 279 price point, I think it's spot on. And number one, I don't have a number three because I'm dealing with price here, but at number one, I absolutely got to say, for the price right now, man, I cannot say it anymore. Simplex, simple, yes, for $249 to get a brand new Simplex. For what this machine can do, what it gives you, the construction, the durability, the waterproof, just everything. For $249, man, you just can't beat it. Now, even going further with that, I just went to eBay today and I took a look at the packages that are available on the Simplex. My God, they've got one now available for $339, 2 coils. So you're going to get the 11-inch stock coil, then you're going to get the SP24 sniper coil. That's $109 by itself, and that will also come with the green wireless headphones. All right. The SP24 coil normally comes at about $109. The wireless headphones are almost $120. So $120 and $109, you're looking at $230 worth of accessories. Now, if the entire package is $339, it's like you're getting the Simplex for $100, man. Bro, I mean, I can't find any other better deal for you. If you are the newbie getting into this field, man, I'm just saying, go get yourself that Simplex. Get it now on this deal here. Get both of those coils. You'll thank me later, because that snipe coil, when I put the SP24 on, it loses a little bit of depth on it, man, but it's lighter, and you can get it into anywhere. When you get close to trees and roots and stuff like that, weeds, you can get that and snake it all through there, man. Great deal, man. $339, man, for 2 coils and wireless headphones Simplex, man. Jesus. Technology is just getting better and better and better. Anyways, my friends, that's it. Quick little wrap up. Comments, questions, concerns. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Looks like we got the Buffalo Bill Patriots game coming on here in about a half an hour. Got to get the kids some food. So guys, that's all we have. Thank you again for tuning into the channel, coming into the lounge with me, spending some time. I'm going to go ahead and get this video edited, get it out to you. And hey, I'll see you guys back here in my next video. You guys be well. Take it easy. Joey Vegas D-Tech. See you later.